You remember the 90s? You know, that very famous time of year of gaming when everything was great, it was fun being a gamer back then, and everything was great back then, you know. There were such things like NES, SNES, Sega, and later there were released PlayStation 1 and many other good consoles. Ah man, those wondrous times of gaming almost bring tears to my eyes. Okay, it was dark ages, but life was simple. We had so many games to play back then. The consoles were having war against each other, Nintendo against Sega, and then Sony with their PlayStation come around and they're trying to take the first spot. And everybody forgot about PC. Nobody talked about that much because consoles were dominating back then. They demanded much better games and more of them. And PC was back to play solitaire or mahjong, I don't know. But I think it later got revisited. Of course, it was much more revisited in 1998 when Half-Life 1 was released by Valve, and some games later. But I want to take you back to 1997, 1 year before the release of Half-Life, and I want to talk about one of those games which I really adore and like. It was a really great game back then and still is. I play it again and it still has its own charm. Released on May 7th, yeah, by Shiny Entertainment. The guys who also made such great games about Earthworm Jim 1 and 2, and then later they'll be much more popular by making 2 games about Matrix, Enter the Matrix and Matrix Path of Neo. Also good games, I hope you play them. But what Shiny Entertainment made was MDK. And I don't know guys, some people don't know what MDK means, or some people never heard of it. Only some brave people like me embrace this game. And just maybe by pure luck some people play and some people don't. Also this game had a sequel released 3 years later in 2000. But I'll talk about sequel later. MDK, it's a third-person shooter, generic, but it has its own charm, because it's made by Shiny Entertainment, and by that I mean there's a lot of slapstick and humor, like in Earthworm Jim. There's also a lot of humor, so is in this game as well. Not much, it was more serious and dark tone, but there were some good stuff about MDK. And I know it's really hard right now to obtain original discs like CD discs and, well, official ones, and people will tend just to download games from torrents like me. I download many old games right now using torrents and burn them on virtual drives. But thankfully MDK is available officially on Steam, both games. You can buy a combo pack for 15 bucks or just one game for 10 bucks. I think it's a bit outrageous even for such an old game. I mean, it's about 16-17 years old and you demand 10 bucks for it? Come on. It's outrageous price. But still, for such a game, I think it's barely good. Almost as good as just game for free. But I digress. MDK. Third-person shooter, very fast-paced action. You're gonna love it. And what MDK actually means, you're questioning yourself. Well, there are 2 answers for this game. First, not very common knowledge, is MDK means it's names for main characters. There are 3 main characters in MDK universe. M means Max, the 6-armed dog. D means Doctor, who who made that dog, and he is also well, captain of his own ship. And K means Kurt. Kurt Hectic, the main protagonist of the first game and also protagonist of the second game. Well, you can play as all three characters in the second game, but in the first you play as Kurt. So that was their first thing, what MDK meant. But I prefer more meaningful translation for MDK. Murder, death, kill. That's all you need to know. MDK, murder, death, kill. I love this translation much better. That's all you do in this game. Murder, death, kill. You kill, you die, you murder aliens. Because, yeah, in this game you kill aliens. Typical, I know, but it was 97. It was okay for that. What's the gameplay looks like? Well, imagine Sonic, fast-paced platformer, and imagine, well, why should you imagine actually? No, I take it back. If you remember, there was this game Shadow the Hedgehog. I also played it, I actually liked it. He used guns and weapons in his own game. So imagine Shadow the Hedgehog with guns, his speed. So basically here's your MDK game, but without Hedgehog. Yeah, I know, not the very best comparison, but still. You are playing as Kurt Hectic, you always killing enemies, killing aliens with various means, like well, using your usual machine gun, or you can use your sniper mode, sniper rifle which is in his head. I know, sounds strange, but if you look closely at this tight leather suit, I mean, wow, black latex suit or something like this. It's more like women type of clothes, but still, there was Batman, so I can blame this guy. He actually reminds of Batman, but he is not like, I'm Batman. No, he is a light-hearted guy. And yes, he has this chain gun in his right hand, and he attaches to his helmet, which looks like a pyramid head. And no, I never played Silent Hill games, never. It turns into a sniper rifle, so you basically use the sniper mode to one-shot kill your enemies. Well, of course, headshots. And by headshots, I actually must admit, probably it was the very first game that invented the term headshot. Even the mission results, they show how much headshots you got in the particular level. It's a very interesting touch, I must say. Never before we used such things as headshots, so it was only about body shots or leg shots, and well, we didn't care that much. But this game was the first one, I suppose. And how each level starts? Well, it starts very good. You skydive from space to your level. Basically, there are mine crawlers aliens used to harvest the minerals and other stuff, and in the way they also kill people. I don't know what the year of the game is, I don't know what century it is, but let's say it's just some probably nearest future, like people like to say. And you skydive to this mine crawler. Also you must evade radar, or this green laser, I don't know. And if it spots you, Minecrawler will shoot at you with rockets. It's easy to dodge, basically. You just dodge the rockets, and during your 1 minute skydive you can also try to catch some items like ammunition and better chain guns. So yeah, some good stuff you can get by skydiving, or if you can't, you'll find them later in the main level itself. And yes, the main gameplay is just this, like Shadow the Hedgehog here also. You have this ridiculous, very fast speed, run around, killing enemies, killing bandits, they burp with green blood, and you just run around, yeah, killing stuff. And in times you also use your sniper mode to kill faraway targets or just do precision shots for some level demanded things, or maybe actually killing the bosses themselves. And yes, there are bosses at the end of each level, well, almost at the end of each. 7 levels totally, 7 or 6, something about like this. And yeah, each level has its own different design because you travel on each different mine corner. And it's very unique, I must say. The graphics, well, it was 97. Of course, you can expect great graphics, even Half-Life didn't have that great ones. But it was unique. It has this really nice touch. It has a really personal, good art, and I actually adore it. It has these different polygons, different triangles, squares, you know, etc. It's almost like this eye deceiving, because like you're looking at this and you think you can pass it, but no, it's just a wall from crystals and mirrors. It's a very nice touch. I really like it. Music, it's a really great one. I just adore the soundtrack for this game. It's like always doomsday device, doomsday music. Maybe it's happening, I don't know. Aliens are attacking the Earth and you're the only guy who can stop them. There's nothing else can stop them except for you. Ah man, those really early ages of gaming where each protagonist was claimed to be you're the last hope and you have to save them. Like Luke Skywalker, he never asked for that. So yeah, there's no multiplayer, of course. It was a very good single player game. You can finish it nowadays in just one day, but if you want to savor the pleasure, just take your time, enjoy the gameplay. You'll encounter many different type of enemies, like foot regular soldiers. You'll encounter tanks. You'll fight against tanks with your chain gun. There's no such things like a bazooka, rocket launchers. No, there's no such things. They're just your chain gun and some different ammunitions for your sniper rifle, like homing missiles, mortars, and other stuff. Even an airstrike using your dog companion, if you of course find such ammunition type. Each level is made differently, and there is also different music playing each time, most of the time. And yeah, it has its own humor because your enemies are so strange, they're so wicked. I don't know. They're always like walking in panic. They always panic whenever you shoot them. They limp if you shoot off their limbs. Well, basically their legs. It's kind of funny, you know. So yeah, it is one of those games. Each boss is killed very differently. I'm not gonna spoil it, I'm just gonna say that it's not easy straight up, just shoot the guy and that's it. No, it's never easy. It's always, it's not like science, rocket science, no. It just sometimes each boss demands a different approach, like in times you have to shoot him from afar or you have to throw grenades at him. Different times, different ways of kill each boss. Even the very last boss, you don't kill him by just shooting it. No, you're doing it very differently. I'm not gonna spoil it for you. And of course, the levels are divided into these little areas or big areas, depends. And to finish them, you don't need to kill everybody just to go to from A to B. And in times there will be doors which are locked. And you have to find a nuclear bomb. Yes, there is such thing as small nuclear bomb, like a key. And basically when you go to this door, you throw this bomb at the door and it explodes. So basically that's how you open the doors if they are locked. And that's it for it. I mean, it's a short game, but it's a very good one. If you're up to some crazy shooting, I think you're gonna love it. It's almost as you're playing Serious Sam from third-person view. Almost like this. Just worse, but still it has its own charm. And I really suggest you to try it. Advise you. Advise. Sorry, my English is very broken here. So that's it for me. I think there's nothing else to add for MDK, or Murder Death Kill if you prefer. How are you gonna explain this to your friends? What are you playing? I'm playing Murder Death Kill. What the hell is that? MDK! You douchebag? Yeah, so MDK is a very good game. And sequel, MDK 2, well, to say the least, it was made by different people. It wasn't made by Shiny Entertainment, it was made by BioWare, which is surprising, considering how they moved on. The guys who later made such a good game as Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 1. Second game was made by different people. And later they'll make Mass Effect and Dragon Age, and right now they're making Dragon Age Inquisition, which I don't even care about. So yeah, surprising enough. MDK2 was also good. It retained the same gameplay style. Maybe a bit different style. Of course, it was 3 years later, 2000 year, and 21st century already began. So graphics, of course, are better if you can handle it. I mean, some people are just so, how should I say it, attached to the first game, like they claim the first game is always better than the second and third one. I know there are sometimes like you like only the original while the sequels are better or they're becoming worse. That's debatable, I should say. As long as the game stays true to its nature, as long as it stays to being itself like it was always supposed to be, I think it's alright. I think it's a great game and you should give it a shot. And I'm saying that if you're gonna like first game, you're probably gonna like the second one. I played the second game also a lot. I completed both of them. And the fact that in the second game you can play as three different characters. And each of them has a different gameplay style. I think that's a lot good. And also to add for that, the second game got HD remastering service like 2-3 years ago. So if you don't want to play old graphics, old school game, you can play HD remastered. So yeah. Bottom line here, MDK is one of those strange experiences, I must say. A very good shooter by very talented people. I love it, I adore it, and I can say it's one of those great classics of 90s and early 2000s. So if you have a chance, try it, pick it up, you're gonna like it. Well, that's it for me. I'm gonna go. I've noticed there are some games I remember from my past and there are actually some bad games. I think I'm gonna have fun a lot reviewing bad games, so check back later. I'm off.